What's up, you guys, and welcome to the channel, Clearly Crypto, the place where we want to know more, grow more, and reap the benefits. Thank you guys so much for being here. Make sure to get subscribed if you're not. Come out with this daily content to help you guys out with the cryptoverse. For today's video, I have quite a bit of good information for you guys, a bit of everything, I would say. I had quite a few articles lined up, and it's going to get pretty interesting. So make sure to stick around to the end. There's some pretty cool news here at the end that I just found out this last night that I definitely want to share out with the community, and I'm wondering if you guys might be getting one. So make sure to also follow me over on Twitter. This is where I push out my other opinions on the cryptoverse. I also share other things that I learn about it, projects, different things that I learn about reading charts, just all kinds of fun stuff. So make sure to drop me a follow over there as well. For the first article that we have today, we have El Salvador's Bitcoin beach to receive over $200 million in infrastructure investments. So there, if you didn't know, El Salvador is huge into Bitcoin. They pretty much moved their currency over into Bitcoin. They've been DCAing into it, dollar cost averaging for people that don't know. I'm sure you'll see it plenty out there. So in case you don't know, that means dollar cost averaging. But they've been buying tons of Bitcoin. That's basically how they're going to run their country. They have Bitcoin Beach. They have a few other places that I can't name off the top of my head. I believe it says down in here. So El Zonte, a beach in El Salvador, has been renamed Bitcoin Beach. So they actually renamed it Bitcoin Beach because of how famous they're becoming for picking up cryptocurrency as their currency. We'll get infrastructure upgrades as part of a strategic plan that will be implemented by the government of El Salvador. And listen to how much they're going to be doing with this, how much Bitcoin has caused them to actually start upgrading the stuff that they have for people and people who visit. So these expenditures will go toward the construction of brand new amenities to enhance the vacation experience of tourists to the destination. Down here, it's the president talking in this quote here. We are going to fix the area of 15,000 square meters, so that's a pretty big area, where there will be a shopping center, parking, beach club, treatment plant to revitalize the area. So down here, there's more talk about how the investment amount is to more than $203 million, which includes cycling paths, a new drainage system, pedestrian crossing, and 14 bridges. So it gets quite extensive. It's not just, for the tourists, but it actually helps out the whole economy over there with adding new bridges, pedestrian walking, drainage system, as it says there. This year, we will expand 21 kilometers of the Littora Road to 4 lanes, and we will also do it with hydraulic concrete, which is more expensive than asphalt, but lasts much longer. So it sounds like El Salvador is not only wanting to be the place for cryptocurrency, but they're also wanting to make their location a pretty nice place to go if you are wanting to go on a vacation, whether it's because it's a place for cryptocurrency or just because it's a really nice place after all of this. So moving on from that, we have news about Arbitrum. Arbitrum implements its largest scaling upgrade by migrating Arbitrum 1 to Nitro. So for those of you that don't know, this is basically just a layer 2 rollup project that it makes the layer 1s like Ethereum and other layer 1 protocols faster. That's basically what it's helping out with them with their transactions and their speeds. So down here it says how Arbitrum Nitro will reduce transaction costs and increase network speed. So like I was saying, it helps reduce costs, increase speeds with transactions through other layer ones. So it's one of the leaders in layer 2 scaling. The migration upgrade will reduce transaction costs through call data compression, increased Ethereum virtual machine EVM compatibility, and further advancing interoperability with Ethereum layer 1. So like I said, it's a layer 2 scaling for layer 1s to help them out. So down here I want to point this out. Arbitrum Nova A separate chain focused on gaming and social, that was pretty interesting to hear, went live August 9th, so not that long ago, and is built on the Nitro stack. So I went over and looked at the website. There wasn't too much there, so that's why I'm not going to show it in this video. But I've definitely wrote it down on my list of things to keep an eye on. I make sure to keep a list. I love reading through these articles because it gives me plenty of places to look at in the cryptoverse, because you always want to diversify your investments. That's definitely how I'm going to be doing things. And that's one reason why I wanted to do these videos, is to help you guys in looking into the cryptoverse and see exactly what you want to look into, what you might want to invest into. You never know, you might be a person trying to find a line of work, you're trying to invest, you just think it's something fun to look into. Any of those things, this is the place to help you out. So the announcement today officially replaces the migrates Arbitrum 1. Replaces and migrates Arbitrum 1. Sorry, I thought that sounded weird. The current train. So they've officially migrated. So they've not only announced it, but they've officially migrated over into Arbitrum Nitro now. You can see their total value locked right now is 943 million, a little over that. This is off of DeFi Llama, as you can see here. A great website if you don't know about. I've talked about it in my past video, where I talk about the 10 best research websites that you can use as far as getting into cryptocurrency. I actually add a few extra in there just as a bonus for you guys. But you can see the different ecosystems that they have inside of Arbitrum, and you can see all of these different ones that they're helping out. So these are all the chains that Arbitrum is currently helping out with their roll-ups. So it's currently beating out Optimism. Optimism is only at 894. It's catching up to the likes of Polygon, Solana, Avalanche. Yeah, Tron's still pretty up there, but as you can see there, it's starting to catch up to like Solana, Avalanche, and all those, which I talked about a pretty crazy feature in Solana, about Solana in yesterday's video. If you didn't catch that, definitely check that out. It was pretty interesting seeing that they have that feature in their programming that is pretty detrimental to their systems. But yeah, you can see compared to things like Ethereum, it has a long way to go. Ethereum's up to 34 billion. But like I said, this is the layer 2 helping out all the layer 1. So all of the total value locked in these can potentially go through here to help them out, help them scale more. So you can see over in... Oh, okay. No, that's not it. That's the end of that. I forgot that they don't exactly have a token for Arbitrum, so I was going to bring up, I thought I was going to bring up the chart for that. Sorry, guys. So the next article that I have for you, Ticketmaster chooses Dapper Labs Flow blockchain for NFT tickets. So I've talked about Flow blockchain in one of my past videos. It's a NFT marketplace that's getting pretty big out there. It's starting to be comparable to, like, say, OpenSea, and you can see why, because they're getting in cahoots with the NFL. So event ticketing behemoth Ticketmaster announced today that it would adopt the Flow blockchain from Dapper Labs for minting tickets as NFTs for select events. It would also be like shareable proof of attendance. So I was thinking, wouldn't it be crazy in the future we go into somebody's house and they have like on their desk, just kind of hanging out on an end table, or even if it was like a big mirror that came out that kind of showed off the different NFTs that you have, the different places that you have went, because you can show off the ticket for the Super Bowl that you went to, and that would be a good talking piece for people. Or if they're just kind of hanging out in the house, then they can look through that as well. It's a way for you to show off, because everybody loves showing off what they've done. So that's kind of the rabbit hole that led me down, thinking about the proof of attendance. So these NFTs I can see getting pretty big. That sports people are ridiculous in buying anything they can for their team. So I can see this getting pretty big. I know that people sell or NFL tickets now. You can buy like Super Bowl tickets for quite a bit on eBay if you have those ticket stubs. So after the past 6 months, Dapper Labs and Ticketmaster quietly launched an NFT pilot program. So if you didn't know, this year in the Super Bowl, this last Super Bowl that they had, they actually gave out tickets as NFTs. You got a virtual ticket. It was a pilot program, and more than 5 million Flow NFTs were minted in a 6-month period. So that just goes to show how big it can potentially get. That's just a pilot program, and it got more than 5 million just with that pilot program. So Ticketmaster has built a web wallet and marketplace feature into its site, so I'm sure that it's working through Flow on its site to allow them to purchase them a little easier, where holders will be able to view and trade the NFTs they receive as a result of the partnership. So that's pretty cool that they're making it really easy for their people to get to it. Flow has always been built to support the mass market. I really like that quote that they have here from Dapper Labs. Yeah, they're definitely getting out there. If you guys haven't looked at Flow, they are helping out quite a few big brands out there. You can see the different ones that are in here already. As far as like Dr. Seuss, they have Alchemy, they have Gig Labs, YouTube is down here, Instagram. If you go further down, you can see that they've worked with Animoca brands, Flavart, Top Shot, which is NBA, NFL, like I was saying, all day, UFC. I mean, they have Gaia. I mean, they have a ton of stuff as far as Flow goes. So I can see this getting huge, and that quote definitely it definitely sums up what they're doing. Flow has always been built to support the mass market because they're going after the sports market, which is a huge market. I mean, I don't think I saw anything as far as soccer in there. So I wonder if they're going to be getting into that. I know Crypto.com is one of the big leaders in getting connections with soccer, so that'll be pretty interesting to learn about later in the future. So we'll see about that. So while exclusive, its partnership with Ticketmaster isn't all-encompassing. Ticketmaster will only release NFTs for select events, like for 100 games in the upcoming NFL season. So with this, I consider that pretty smart. I think that they should choose the games that are the most popular, are the biggest, and use those especially as like marketing material as far as getting data to see exactly the way that they want to do this. I believe it talks about it down here. So asked whether he believes all tickets should become NFTs, Maurer was unsure. So yeah, it talks about down here. The data will ultimately show that user behavior will ultimately show that, and I don't have a strong stance on that yet. I think one could make an argument that that's where I think I think one could make an argument that that's where the world is going, but I'd like to see how some of these partnerships and activations materialize, and that I think will drive the direction of ticketing on the blockchain. So like I was just saying, they want to get more marketing material, more marketing data from all this to see exactly what they should be doing. Because I mean, they don't want to just make NFTs for every single game, and it just just kind of colludes the marketplace out there. I believe that's the right word. Just kind of floods it, makes it to where it's hard to find really good ones. Makes it to where you're just digging through a bunch of crap ones to find the one that you want. As you can see here, I do have a chart up for Flow. So with Flow, it's gotten pretty high up there, up to almost $40, $39. I do see it getting quite a bit back up there. Remember, we are in a bear market. Everything is down right now. $2.02. I'm definitely going to be looking into this project quite a bit more to see if I might be an investor in it, especially with them being with so many big names out there, with them being with so many sports brands. This is definitely an ecosystem that I like myself. So never financial advice. You guys definitely do what you want with your money. But I myself, I'm definitely going to be looking into this as a possible winner at the end of this bear market. So moving on from that, we have a bit of global info for you guys just to keep you updated with what's happening with the rest of the world. We want to make sure to get information from everywhere because it's not just the crypto articles that are going to be affecting the crypto market, but just the general economy can as well. So Eurozone hits record inflation of 9.1% amid gas and energy crisis. This is talking about, I didn't know that there was a zone called Eurozone, so if you didn't know either, it consists of 19 countries, including Germany, France, and Belgium. August marks the 9th consecutive months of rising inflation for this zone at 9.1%, like it's set up there. European Union faces a massive energy and gas crisis, largely as a result of the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. So I have heard tons about that. I know Joshua Jake, one of the big crypto influencers out there, talks all the time about what's happening over in Europe as far as the I believe it's the natural gas crisis that they're definitely having out there. So food, gas, and electricity have soared across the continent. Last month, it's up by an annual rate of 38.3%. Food, alcohol, tobacco all rose by an annual rate of over 10%. So I know that we're seeing it also over here in the United States. I know that even my stick cheese that I take to work every day, that has definitely gone up, as well as the milk, the bacon, all of the things that we love to eat has definitely started going up. Inflation has been hitting everywhere. This guy here, Florian Glatz, a EU-based lawyer specializing in blockchain technology, co-founder of the German Blockchain Association, and member of the EU Crypto Initiative. He believes that the crypto industry has been warning global governments the current monetary and economic systems don't hold up to the challenges at hand. So that's part of what ISO 20022, I know I talk about it a lot on this channel, but it's a big thing that's happening in November. I've talked about in the past video explaining everything about it. It talks about in Swift documents how they have seen these types of challenges definitely pop up whenever we had our big problems in 2020, how they couldn't keep up with everything as far as everything being done by paper instead of it being digitized. So the crypto community must continue to push for mass adoption and proper implementation. So that's up to us, guys. So that's me, you, everybody out here. We got to get the masses informed about cryptocurrency. So the more that you talk about it, I know my wife definitely loves hearing all about it from me, but I try to tell everybody I can. I even have people at work starting to ask me about it. So that's one of the reasons why I'm starting to do more tutorials on here to help people out, to get the word out, because crypto's not going to gain more traction unless more people know about it, unless it becomes adopted by the masses. So we need a new deal for EU citizens that is powered by financial inclusion, the opportunities in the digital markets, and the desire to make Web3 the long-awaited digital revolution made in Europe. So we are in the digital revolution, guys. We need to get Web3 out here. We need to make it mainstream. We need to make it the way of the future and the way that we are doing things now. So moving on from that article, European Central Bank addresses guidance in licensing of digital assets. Still over in Europe, their European Central Bank is starting to talk about how they're going to be licensing banks that are connected with crypto assets. So the European Central Bank laid the foundation for the criteria it would be considering while harmonizing the licensing requirements for crypto in Europe. Said it would be taking steps to regulate digital assets as national frameworks governing crypto assets diverge quite extensively. So the Markets in Crypto Assets Regulations and Basel Committee on Banking Supervision in issuing guidelines for banks' exposure to crypto. So I'm going to go over those guidelines here in a minute. Apply criteria from the capital Requirements Directive in effect since 2013 to assess licensing requirements for crypto-related activities and services. So these guys are issuing guidelines for the bank's exposure to it, and they're going to be using a directive that's been in effect since 2013. So at least it's not as old as, say, the Howey test that the SEC is trying to use against the crypto market right now. But, they could be looking at making, a little bit more newer guidelines for this, which I believe that they're doing, it's stating here. So the central bank will consider crypto firms' business models, internal governance, and I love this, and fit and proper assets which apply to licensing other companies. The higher the complexity or relevance to the crypto business, the higher the level of knowledge and experience in the field of crypto should be. So as it says here, they're talking about how they need to get smart people for this field because it is they need to have, like it says, high IT knowledge. This is a very very new industry, and they need to make sure to get quick thinkers into this. That way they can handle anything that comes up. So they also talk about remain an area of focus for European banking supervision in years to come. So they're going to make sure to keep this an ongoing focus for years to come. Global regulators may begin to standardize rules for crypto service providers within the European Union. That'll be interesting to see. I know that everywhere is trying to figure out standardization rules as well as regulations for these cryptocurrencies. That way they can figure out exactly how the banks can use them to help us out. On August 2nd, the ECB released the results of a study which identified a central bank digital currency as the top choice for cross-border payments over Bitcoin and other options. That was pretty interesting to hear that. What I believe that says, though, is that the people are still too scared to kind of use a new form, a new way to help the monetary system, because the central bank digital currency is still basically putting the power in the government's hands. It's not really decentralizing anything, putting the power back in the people's hands, in my opinion. So, like I said, I'm going to go over the guidelines. The guidelines that they had with this, the committee stated that it would soon publish its second consultative paper with the intention of finalizing guidelines on the prudential treatment of crypto exposure by banks by year end. So this was something that came out in May 31st of 2022, earlier this year. This was basically after Terra had just collapsed, so they were pretty worried about it. They talked recent developments after further highlighting the importance of having global minimum prudential framework to mitigate risk from crypto assets. So that's basically just them saying that they're a little bit worried about using cryptocurrency as a way to help the monetary system. So they're just going to be a little more wary going forward. And that was just, like I said, due to Terra having those kind of issues we were going through. We're still kind of going through that through stablecoins just having rough times. So this next part was really crazy. The committee they published a paper about its findings in 2021, and the paper states that the committee divided crypto assets into two groups, with tokenized traditional assets and stablecoins forming one group, and all others forming the second. So they put tokenized traditional assets, which I'm not sure exactly what they mean by that. I'll have to look a little bit more into that. I bet they're only talking about things like Bitcoin, Ethereum, maybe Litecoin, stuff like that. The ones that everybody, or the ones that are kind of regulated by the government, and against all the other ones. So a 1,250% risk weight was assessed to the second group. So they're saying that the second group was ridiculously risky compared to the first, of course, because, I mean, not too many people even know how this would work for the world. which included all cryptocurrencies and their derivatives. Which I mean, they're probably including like meme coins into that as well. That meant a bank was expected to hold $1 in fiat money for every dollar worth of cryptocurrency held. So it's basically saying that if a bank had $1,000 in USDC, they would also have to have $1,000 in fiat money as well. Or no, it's saying in fiat money, so it would have to have like $1,000 in USDC for every $1,000 of, say, XRP, if they were to go on to XRP ledger and use Ripple as their currency to help the monetary system. So they would have to hold enough money to back that XRP because they're so worried about it. They're just trying to make sure that they're over collateralizing, in my eyes. So led to objections from the banking industry group because, of course, they're going to basically have to have double the money in order to start the crypto industry, and the material impediments to regulated bank participation in the crypto asset market. So they're just saying that this hinders their progress in the crypto markets. It basically stops stops them in their tracks trying to do something like this. So it was refreshing seeing that they're trying to actually get guidance on the licensing, but after reading this happening in the past, I'm kind of wondering how far they're trying to get into it and exactly which way they're trying to do it. So moving on from that, we have MtGox repayment date delayed again to mid-September, and it's pretty interesting to hear when they're having it. So you can see the official document down here. It says that it's going to be starting on September 15th and ends at an undefined period. So, and notably it says Japan time too. So, for those of you that know, the Ethereum merge is going to be happening around that time too. It's pretty interesting to hear that they're going to be doing this about the same time as that. I wonder if it was kind of something that they had planned originally, or if they're like, wait, let's hold off and let's do it this way, which it kind of talks about down here. As mentioned before, the trustee is not ready to pay out. Is not ready to pay out. There will be a KYC process. He has to explain how payouts will happen, etc. He has to collect bank account data and so on. This will drag on for months, if not years. Nothing the trustee does is quick. So they're saying that the process will start September 15th, hopefully. That's what the document says. But they're saying that this could drag on for years. And I mean, with that, they're saying that they might not even start the payouts at this time. So don't be worried about this MtGox thing. So you don't need to be worried about it. You don't need to worry about Bitcoin just being dumped onto the market, especially with this. As you can see here, their Bitcoin reserve has actually went up. So I'm thinking that they're kind of wanting to hold on to this to build up their reserves, because they know once they give the Bitcoin back to people, they're not really going to trust these MtGox anymore, especially after them getting hacked and everything. So they're probably trying to build up their reserves, so whenever they give the amount back, they'll still have a hefty amount left. Because I mean, with cryptocurrency being so choppy right now, it's kind of a good time. Well, it's not exactly a good time because you never know where it's going to go with it being so volatile. But with that volatility, this gives them kind of a perfect time if they can play the market right, they can make quite a bit of money with the reserves that they have back. Since they're, deciding to just not give the people their money back right away, they're trying to drag it on by doing all of this legal stuff, which, I mean, he's saying that he has to explain how payouts are going to happen, which that can be done pretty quick just by sending out a document to everybody. But yeah, so that was pretty crazy to hear about this, especially the date. So the last piece of information I have here, sorry it's a little bit of a long video today, guys. Definitely want to try to make these a little bit shorter. I'm going to try to in the future, but I try to get as much info out here to help you guys out. So this is an awesome thing that I heard about Ethereum's Vitalik Buterin to publish compilation of his writings. So he's coming out with a book. It's a compilation of his writings from the past 10 years. So he's stated that all of the money that's going to be made by this is going to be going to this grant, the Gitcoin grant. He also talks about down here, if any of it is going through the website that's paid in Ethereum, that 10% of it goes towards the press that helped to support it. But a really cool feature with this is that if you go to the website that they're selling it, you can donate any amount of ETH above to receive an NFT and digitally signed book from Vitalik. You'll mint a non-transferable NFT, and when the book is available, you'll gain access to your signed digital copy. So that's pretty cool to hear that they're not only getting a book out, but they're trying to make a use case for ETH. They're trying to show that there's a way for people to use ETH for marketing as well. And it's pretty cool that he's going to give out his signature along with the book, which, I mean, it's a digital signature. It's not like he hand-signed all of these NFTs, but I'm sure it's just, a copy made into however many digital copies they need. But, it would be pretty cool if he had, like, a few, like, say you had a one-of-one where he kind of made a different signature out of it. I've seen plenty of signatures on, like, say, Pawn Stars where they have cool signatures where you can put like a smiley face or something. You never know. Maybe he puts like the symbol of Ethereum. He tries to draw the symbol after his signature. Something like that. That would make it a little more interesting to have. So they've gotten the big names out there to help them out: Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and Walmart. I myself probably won't be getting this book for a while unless I'm needing something else to read. From what it sounds like, it's going to be pretty techy, to forewarn you guys in case you're pretty excited just to kind of read what he's thinking. So this states that these writings collected from his essays before and during the rise of Ethereum reveal Buterin to be a vivid and imaginative writer. With context from media studies scholar Nathan Snyder says the blurb on the site. While many around him were focused on seeing the value of their tokens rise, he was working through the problems and possibilities of crafting an internet-native world. So it sounds pretty interesting. Again, like I said, it's excerpts from like his essays and stuff, all of his writings. So I do see it being probably pretty techy, so there's probably going to be quite a bit of like developer info in there, about how he was developing Ethereum and all the programming for it, stuff like that. So if you're into programming and everything like that, I'm sure that this would be a good book for you. But definitely let me know down in the comments if you're going to be going onto the website to at least get like his digital signature. That's, if anything, something to get, if not the book. So that was pretty cool to see that they're doing something like this. It just goes to show what NFTs can do for the community, the different ways that you can use NFTs to market. You've seen in that past article, it also talks about how they're helping out the sports space, and this is how it can help out like publishing. So that's it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for sticking around. Make sure to drop a like, drop a comment down there. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you next time.